Hello, my dear students. I once again welcome you all for the fourth revision class on the topic Indian Constitution, Part 3 of the subject PEIC. Today's lecture consists of the structure of judiciary, federal structure, and the three-tier structure of Panchayat Raj. So let us first discuss about the structure of judiciary. The Constitution of India has provided an integrated single judiciary system. The Supreme Court of India is at the apex and it is the highest judicial authority. The high courts at the state level are subordinate to the Supreme Court. The subordinate courts at district level are supervised by the high courts. The structure of the judiciary is shown in the chart where the Supreme Court is at the apex, which gives the directions to the High Court, and under the High Courts are the district courts or the subordinate courts in the form of civil court, criminal court, and revenue court. Let us first discuss about the formation and functions of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is the top court or apex court and highest judicial court. Maximum number of judges is 34, including Chief Justice of India. The Supreme Court safeguards the fundamental rights of the citizens. It settles disputes between various state government and central government, between two state governments, and between central government and an institution. The verdicts of Supreme Court are recorded and can be referred in all other courts. The judges of Supreme Court have highest retirement age of 65 years and highest salary than any other government employee. Also, their salary is paid from Consolidated Funds of India. The judges of Supreme Court are appointed by the President of India. Now coming to the functions of the Supreme Court. First one, the Supreme Court handles the cases of violation of fundamental rights. Secondly, the Supreme Court can review any judgment pronounced or order made by it. Third one, the Supreme Court is a court of record. It maintains the records of proceedings, acts, and decisions. Fourth one, the Supreme Court acts as a guardian of the fundamental rights of citizens. And fifth one, the Supreme Court acts as a guardian of our Constitution. So let us discuss the formation and the functions of the High Court. The High Courts are working under Supreme Courts. All states have one High Court. Every High Court consists of Chief Justice and other required number of judges. The judges are appointed by the President of India by consulting Chief Justice of India. All these judges hold this office up to 62 years and the judges may be removed by the President of India. Coming to the functions of the High Court can issue writs for the enforcement of human rights. Secondly, the High Court will issue writs in all cases of violation of any rights. Thirdly, appeals against the judgments of subordinate courts can be made. Fourth one, the High Court has an administrative control over all subordinate courts in the state. Fifth one, the High Court maintains the record of proceedings, acts, and decisions. And sixth one, it also deals with the cases of interpretation of the Constitution. And let us move to the next heading, federal structure in the Indian Constitution. The federal structure is with respect to the division of powers. According to the Indian Constitution, the division of powers are defined in the following ways. First one, union list. Second one, state list. And third one, concurrent list. In the union list, it has subjects of national importance and union alone can make the laws. And in the state list, It has the subjects of local and state importance, and the state government alone can make the laws. Whereas in concurrent list, it has the subjects of common interest both to center and state, and both the center and state can frame the laws. So let us see the division of powers in detail. Coming to the first one, union list. The union list consists of 100 items on which the parliament has exclusive power to legislate, and these are defense, armed forces, arms and ammunition, atomic energy, foreign affairs, war and peace, citizenship, extradition, railways, shipping and navigation, airways, posts and telegraphs, wireless and broadcasting, currency, foreign trade, interstate trade and commerce, banking, insurance, central of industries, regulation and development of mines, mineral and oil resources, electronics, audit of government accounts, constitution and organization of the Supreme Court, High Court and Union Public Service Commission, income tax, taxes on capital value of assets, estate duty and terminal taxes. Coming to the second one, state list. The state list consists of 61 items on which the state has exclusive power to legislate, and these are maintaining law and order, police forces, health care, transport, land policies, electricity in the state, village and administration, etc. Coming to the third one, concurrent list. The concurrent list consists of 52 items, and these are marriage and divorce, transfer of property other than agricultural land, education, contracts, bankruptcy and insolvency, trustees and trusts, civil procedure, contempt of court, adulteration of foodstuffs, drugs and poisons, economic and social planning, trade union, labor welfare, electricity, newspapers, books and printing press, stamp duties. The union list, state list and concurrent list items are shown in this chart. The next important discussion is on local self-government, which is of two types: rural local self-government, urban local self-government. Let us first discuss on rural self-governing institutions. The rural self-governing institutions are also called as Panchayat Raj institutions. It consists of three-tier system. First one, Panchayat at village level, which is called as village Panchayat. Second one, Panchayat at Taluk level, which is called as Taluk Panchayat. And third one, Panchayat at district level, which is called as Jilla Panchayat. Let us first see the formation and the structure of the village Panchayat. Usually, a village having population not less than 5,000 and not more than 7,000 is declared as the village Panchayat. The members of village Panchayat are directly elected by the people during election. One member for a population of 400 is elected in village Panchayat. The seats will be reserved for women, SC and ST, and the village Panchayat is headed by a president or a chairman elected among the members, and the members also elect vice president to assist the president or chairman. The village Panchayat will hold the sessions in 2 months, and it is elected for a period of 5 years. Let us discuss about the salient features of Taluk Panchayat. According to the Constitution of India, the Taluk Panchayat has been established at Taluk level. In Taluk Panchayat, for every 10,000 population, one member is elected by election. President of Taluk Panchayat is elected from the elected members. The Taluk Panchayat has a term of 5 years. The next Panchayat is Jilla Panchayat. The Jilla Panchayats are established at district level in every state. For every 40,000 population, one member is selected through election. The president and vice president are elected from the members of Jilla Panchayat. The members of Jilla Panchayat are elected for a period of 5 years. After knowing the three panchayats, let us see the functions of Gram Panchayat, Taluk Panchayat and Jilla Panchayat. Let us first see the functions of the Gram Panchayat. The first function is agricultural development. The second one is land improvements, land reforms, land consolidation and soil conservation. The third one is watershed development and irrigation developments. The fourth one is fisheries work. Fifth one, minor forest development. Sixth one, animal husbandry and poultry farming. Seventh one, social forestry and farm forestry. Eighth one, khadi, cottage and small scale industry development. Ninth one, rural housing and drinking water supply works. 10th one, libraries, cultural activities, family welfare, health and sanitation developments. Coming to the functions of the Taluk Panchayat performs all the functions as village panchayat in large scale at the Taluk level. And the functions of the Taluk Panchayat are same as the village panchayat. The next one, functions of Jilla Panchayat. The Jilla Panchayat performs all the functions as village and Taluk Panchayats in large scale at district level. Thus, the functions of the Jilla Panchayat are same as the village Panchayat or the Taluk Panchayat. After discussing the rural local bodies, let us come to the next heading, urban local bodies. In the urban local bodies, let us discuss about the functions of the urban local bodies. The first function is town planning activities. The second one is building and repair of roads and bridges. The third one is regulation of land use and construction of building. Fourth one is economic and social development planning and implementing. The fifth one is sanitation, sewage, waste, public health, conservancy and pollution management. Sixth one is water supply management for domestic, commercial and industrial purposes. The seventh function is safety and security services, fire services, etc. Eighth one, promotion of cultural, aesthetic and educational aspects. Ninth one, development of parks, playgrounds, cremation grounds, etc. 10th one, taxes, penalties and fees collection and utilization for city development. So with this we come to the end of the chapter on Constitution of India, which is shown before you in three videos, part 1, part 2 and part 3. In all these three videos, so I once again stress to all the students that the discussion on the important headings is made which are asked in the semester end examinations. Hence, I request you to go through all these videos keenly, and if you find any difficulty, you are free to ask any questions at any time. So thanking you all for your kind cooperation.